Born to run, baby. Born to run. Welcome to the De Leon.
Hey fellow hobby enthusiasts, this is Rob with the De Leon Hobby Garage, and I came across a couple of things I wanted to show you as I'm cleaning out the hobby garage, getting it prepared for my slot car track, which will arrive maybe the next couple of weeks. So this little toy that I found runs on these little double A's. I remember always asking my parents to give me some double A's for them because I'd use them so much they'd run out. Introducing the Stomper 4x4 by Schaper. This happens to be the Dodge Warlock pickup truck. Originally introduced in 1980, and that would have put me about 12 years old. The first generation of this toy featured these foam tires. The day my dad brought one of these little trucks home for me, I was immediately obsessed. I don't remember another toy like this that was powered by a small battery that would just kind of go by itself, and it was four-wheel drive. At the time I first received this little truck, I wasn't aware that there were play sets available for them. A visit to my cousin's house revealed this awesome looking play set that had all these little obstacles, and you just set the truck right inside there and it would run the entire course by itself. The basic construction of these little trucks is pretty simple. Once you remove the body, you can see the cavity where the battery would go and the little brass contacts. Unfortunately, the only thing I could get to work is the little light bulb, which would illuminate through the front headlights. This little truck was powered through this little tiny sliding switch. At this point, you only had on and off. Later versions of this little truck, you would have multiple speeds and even freewheeling settings. I tried putting in a fresh battery, but the only thing I got to run was just a little bulb in front. For some reason, I can't get the motors to work on any of these. But as you can see here, well, at least the bulb is working, and you can see it going right through the front little headlights. That to me was the most awesome thing because I could play with these at night. Eventually I would add this really cool blue Blazer to my collection, also with the foam tires, basically the same chassis. The only thing different about these two models was just the bodies, so I'm assuming they came out about the same time in 1980. I'm surprised how well these held up over the years. The paint is pretty delicate on these. In fact, you can scratch the paint off with your fingernail. Of course, I took really good care of my vehicles, so it still looks good, even though this one also suffers the same problem as the Dodge. The battery works, but only the bulb lights up. I would eventually add this blue Toyota SR5 to my collection, and I was obsessed with this truck. I always thought I would have a blue SR5 pickup as one of my first real vehicles, but unfortunately that never happened. Now this was my first experience with the Stomper with rubber tires, and I don't know exactly when that changeover happened from the original foams, but they seem to work pretty good. Now this different version of truck had a different mounting type of mechanism. You have these little clips on the front and the back as opposed to the side clips, and they did hold the body on better. Also, you had this battery cover now, which was not featured in the earlier models. Now, as much as I love the Toyota SR5, I would have to say the next one was absolutely my favorite. This little Baja Bug would fuel my obsession with the Volkswagen for the next 40 years. This model would also feature the rubber tires and the little battery cover underneath. The little stripes and numbers on this body seem very delicate to me, and I remember how easy they scratched if you just scratched a nail on it, so I took extra care of this model because I loved it so much. I don't know why, but I always took really good care of my toys, even though I saw friends lighting theirs off with firecrackers or setting them on fire. I guess I was just appreciative that my dad was spending money on these little things for me. This one has the same situation. The bulb lights up, but I can't get the motor to work. The mechanics of this little toy are pretty simple. Once you pop this cover off, you're just going to see a couple of worm gears inside connected to a center mounted motor. And you can see there's a couple of gears on the axles. And you've got a little slide switch on the side. And as you slide the switch back and forth, it will move the little brass contact into the motor. And of course it's supposed to be working, but for some reason these are not. Still in pretty good condition, although you see a couple of splits in the wheels and stuff. And I think that's just through sitting in heat cycles in my garage. Now this next one is one of the later ones I got. This is the AMC Eagle. I remember the day I bought this, and I think this one came from Sears at the Puente Hills Mall. Now this one had a slightly different tow hitch. Rather than the little standard tow hitch, it had kind of this loop on the back. There was also an accessory pulling sled, and I actually do have the pulling sled, although I could not find it at the date of this recording. You would simply attach the little black chassis piece to the truck and then put some weight in the sled and off you go. You can have some pulling competitions at home now. The last one I'm going to show you here is this little cement mixer I got, and I think this one came out in 1982. This one here has turned a little bit yellow due to the fluorescent lights in the garage, and so anything that was white is now yellow, like many of the vintage toys that I had that were molded in white. I received this cement truck from my uncle in Arizona for Christmas when I think I was 14. It kind of would have been in the tail end when I was still collecting toys, but for some reason I always have really good memories when it comes to toys. Whereas these days I can't remember what I did last week. Well, there you have it, folks, a little blast from the past, and these little toy trucks I've held on to all these years. I always tell my kids, man, pay attention to the stuff I have. Right here, you probably got about $600 in toys if you play your cards right, or they'll probably just take them and throw them in the trash. Who knows? I guess I won't care when I'm dead and gone. Well, that's all for now, folks. This has kind of been fun reminiscing about these little things I've had since 1980. And all I could say is I'm just going through this stuff and I'm kind of reliving my childhood. Let's see what I might be able to dig up next week from all these things I'm finding during this move. With that said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.